Now that I have welded this piece out, I'm going to go ahead and make my next roll out, which is actually a 90 that I transition on this side of the pipe. And the 90 will come out this way and go that way. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and probably put this 90 on its side, and then I'll probably roll it up or square it somehow on the side with this in position of the way it needs to go. Okay, and then after I do that, we'll go ahead and show you how to counterweight it and make a roll out weld it in position if I don't have to. If I can roll it out, I'm going to roll it out. And a lot of times I like to put my counterweight on the pipe, roll it out. It's just what I like to do. So we'll go ahead and put our 90 and show you guys how to get it fit up and then put our counterweight on there and counterweight it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go have to orientate the pipe now to where it needs to be to go ahead and make this weld. I had to go over and switch to the voiceover because the wind is killing me, man. And I just could not get the life of the speaker to work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it and do the voiceover. And all I'm trying to explain right now basically is that I have to orientate the pipe the right way so the 90 can go the way it needs to go. And then I'm going to teach you guys how to roll it out and counterweight this 90 facing this way with the, eccentric like the way it is. All right, we're going to use the clamp I'm always talking about that I always use, one of my favorite, universal, aka ultra clamp. We'll go ahead and slap that on here for you guys and show you a little bit of technique there. I like to get it close and then just let it drop and roll to the bottom, and then I'll tighten it.
Now, a lot of times when you fit a 90 up, you can't use your ultra clamp side. You have to use it to the back side. But with big fittings like this, you don't have to worry about it too much. Alright. Now that I got my ultra clamp on there, I'll go ahead and get some jack stands, set some jacks up.
Anytime you can go ahead and get away with just using a couple jacks to set up your fittings, go ahead and do that. I use that ultra clamp to basically help me as much as I possibly can, so that way I don't got to use 3 jacks. I just use 2 jacks. Because most of the time I use 3 jacks, fitting it up, get one on the pipe and the fitting, one on the edge of the fitting, and then one in between the fittings. So, you don't want the fitting to fall when you set it here, so that's why you put the jack stand there. And you want to go ahead and grab the fitting and try to go ahead and put it in there as best you can. Now, I got this fitting here that you guys see me taper back and transition down. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this fitting up the best I can. Now, remember, these fittings are heavy and they're not light. And you basically got to know how to maneuver them and set them and make sure that when you transfer them that you know your movement, because you can hurt yourself. And I have like a million things in the way, my cords and stuff. That's something you don't want to have. You want to make sure that your path is clear and set it like this. This is the best way to set it. That way your fitting doesn't fall. After this, you can go ahead and roll it and then shove it into the clamp. And that'll help you get your fit the best possible way. You can see here now you got to loosen up your wing sometimes from the fit previous on your ultra clamp. And then maneuver your jack stand to where it will help you set that fitting in there somewhat decently straight. Once you maneuver it, you can go ahead and adjust your jack to get your backside up some more, because you're going to need that middle to be raised so that way it can go in there and sit in there nicely. It's going to take a little bit of maneuvering and adjusting, but the ultra clamp is one of the best clamps to have out there. I've used it in many of my videos and showed you guys for many years this is the way to go to fit this. Now, you'll understand how I'm talking about the fitting going up. Well, it's important to get the fitting where you want it and close enough. Now, I'm using roller jacks. Usually you want to just use straight jacks with no roller heads on it so the pipe doesn't roll, but I'm just lazy at times, I'll admit it. And I'll go ahead and work my material like I do just because I'm used to fitting this type of stuff with these type of conditions, and I just guess I'm more seasoned than most people. But, just listen to what I'm saying. Most of the time, what I'm doing isn't the best things to do, so just make sure that you're paying attention to what I'm doing. You got to make sure that you get the high-low out of the fitting and that you can get the fit really good. After you get the fit really good is when you can kind of just break the fitting loose from the ultra clamp and then kind of roll it and adjust it and get it all level. And that's what I'll do. I'll level the pipe up. I'll level my eccentric fitting where I need to, and then I'll go ahead and put the 90 where I want it. It's a little bit of high-low on the fitting from the fitting to the pipe that you can see. Sometimes that's just inevitable. You can't get away from it. You're going to have high-low, you're going to have egg-shaped pipes, and the best thing with the Ultra Clamp is, you can somewhat squeeze it out of there and try to make it work. And so that's all I'm trying to do, just trying to split the difference, make it work for me, so that way when I sink my bead inside of it, it's equal all the way around, and it's not high-low on one side or the other favored, because when they put the X-ray film to it, they will see a shadow cast there if it's a really high-low.
I got my piece where it is where I need to worry about my levels now. I know this is the top, I know that's center. Here. Later, I'm going to teach you why we do those things. And now, we're making this fit here. So what we need to do now is we need to bring this up. So at this point now, we'll have to use this to level it. Be careful because in the jack, it can roll. And this backside will get low here, and it'll screw up your fit. So you got to be paying attention to your level and to your fit at the same time now. A lot of times you can sit here and roll that pipe and get that fit, but again, this is going to have to get raised up. Your backside always needs to be level here, straight this way. So once we're level here, and we have this center, it'll give us a good place to start here with making our fit. There's a little bit of high-low in the pipe due to the egging of the pipe, the thin pipe, which is okay. Because in these spots that it's high, we can just step it in there if we need to be. What I'll try to do is I'll try to split the difference between the pipe though, and that's the best I can do.
Now after wrestling the pipe and wrestling the fitting, it's now time to weld it up.
Now I'm about 130 amps just because this needs to take the heat a little bit more, being such a heavy fitting that I feel like personally. I always take the same size gap. I don't really change it up very much, and the reason I do that is because I like a really tight bevel space. So there's no pressure on that at all. I just set it on there and I rest it, and it melts in there perfect, just how I like it. Let me get this bottom tack in here. So now I got my two tacks on the side, and what that's going to do is that's going to create a hinge for me. I always talk about hinging it, and at this point now, oh, it's a lot of weight. But at this point right now, you can determine if it's square to it or not. That's level. Man, baby, that's level. That's level as can be. So my fit, the way I fit it up that way, made it completely level. And so at this point right now, what I would do is I wouldn't tack it anymore. I would run my tack, my starts on my tacks. I'd actually run the throat first, because the throat already is going to pull. I'll run the throat first, then I'll run my back side. It's probably going to pull, but at that point then, I'll run from the back. I'll run from this side all the way around. Okay, because I'll be having to stand on this side of the pipe because I can't stand here because the 90 is going to hit me. So I know in my mind that I need it to pull. I have to pick one side or the other. I pull in the throat first, then pull out square. The reason I like to do that is because I know once I run the throat and then I run the back side, it's going to lock in whatever it is. But if I continuously start here and run this way,
that way I'm applying heat for the fill and in the cap. That way it'll lock it in and pull just enough to where I want it back in place. This just comes from years of experience, I know, doing it over and over, just being repetitive, If you feel like you got to 4-tack it, go ahead, 4-tack it. I don't care. I 2-tack it, but, people 4-tack it. I don't know who 4-tacks it.
My little handle right here. It's cut just for this specifically. Like it won't fit any other. What's that? Yeah, so that's how I unlock them all. How I lock them all like tight. so that way you can turn this whichever way you need it. I don't really want it like this. I want my weights like this so we can miss that jack. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and take this nut off of here. Get my nut off. Just kidding. Sorry, but it's the truth. Just taking the nut off here. Something I want to tell you guys: if you do build something like this, don't weld this to this. Weld the nut to it. Just, you know, so that way this cast iron mold or whatever is more likely to break than this with pressure tension against it. So that's why this is actually welded to this and then screwed into it. Use this as my counterweight. And at this point now, this counterweight should counterweight this piece to roll that weld out nice and easy. See, it's going to hit my jack, so I got to move my jack. Just enough. But look, now I shouldn't have any problem rolling it. I should be able to roll it nice and easy over there. Get a good rollout weld. Make yourself, you know, a counterweight. Buy one off of me. It doesn't matter. I'll build you one. That way you can go out there and you can do stuff like this. Look, it's not all fancy. It's not made of gold. It's made of a piece of angle, a 2-inch pipe, and then a 2.5-inch pipe. A couple bolts and nuts, guys. It's easy. It's really easy. Look at that. Nice. Now I'm able to sit over here and get a nice pretty weld, right? Yeah, look at that. If you're left-handed, you know, you can sit there and can roll that all nice and easy. Left-handed, all day. Easy. Look at that. It rolls easily. You know, you're right-handed. You can sit there and literally just push on the pipe. Just really easily. Right? That's what it's all about. Counterweight. So I grabbed a 532 just to do the like to grind this way is I was always taught to throw your sparks down. Now you can throw them down this way, but a lot of times what ends up happening is you end up throwing those sparks into your shirt, and you either end up catching on fire, burning a hole in your shirt, or ruining your shirt. So it's just easy and best for me. Throw my sparks away. Throw them at the ground over there. Then I ain't burning up my shirts, and I'm still throwing it at the ground, and I'm throwing it away from me. Sorry, those are the perks of having no guard on the grinder, but please be careful if you do it. Alright. I did kind of grind the piss out of this one, but you can still see I leave a little bit of dirt up in there. A little trashy trash, a little wagon track, whatever you want to call it, baby bat shit, crack, whatever. This is what it is. And remember, this faces that way. Yeah, no big deal. Alright, so there we go. Now we'll go ahead and get on. Alright, now I'll start at the bottom again, because that's where I want my buttons. The seam kind of gives it away. That's where the button is. I'm going to run hot about 190 with the 3/16. Close up of that stop. Alright. Now I'll wire squealy in. Sometimes I'll use a little help. Nice to have a handle on your cap. It really is. Something to just get you through the rod. If I can hold on to it and get it up through the rod, I can readjust it. trying to show some different. Man, I said I was overdoing wind welds. Alright, so that's 2 welds. 12-inch welds. Now on the 12-inch piece also here, it's also going to get some holes cut in here, some pieces coming out here. You can't do it now. Actually, I'm not doing that. Nah, I won't do that. In fact, we're just going to keep rolling out the other size pipe, because that's what I do. I roll out the big pipe, and then I work my way down. I keep rolling out the little pipe, then we'll cut the holes and we'll put it on. Before we actually try to roll out the piece that goes here. We got another 10-inch piece that goes here. Roll it out.